Steve, Man City 3, Arsenal 1. What are your thoughts on the game?
Chris, disappointed. Disappointed. And, you know, sometimes I think, you know, we have to look at the beginning of the game. 45 seconds. Iwobi, too many touches, fundamental error. The problem started from there. I really do believe that the team this evening, it was even worse than against Cardiff. And Cardiff, with all, you know, the problems, we were able to scrape 2-1. This evening, I am not sure. I'm at a loss. I'm at a loss to determine whether it was in midfield, whether it was in the strikers, whether, you know, I am not able to seriously analyze what went wrong this evening with us, Chris.
Before the game started, what did you expect Arsenal to do today? Did you think they could win, yeah?
To win. And I believe we could win, you know, to the extent that I put money in it.
Okay.
Not a lot of money, mind you, but I still had a fiver in it, Chris, going at 10-1, because I felt that somehow it was an insult to Arsenal to believe that, you know, they can put a 10-1 for Arsenal to win against Man City. We played well.
If you have to pick a position on the pitch where Arsenal lost it, you have to say it's the midfield.
In midfield.
The midfield was empty.
The midfield, apart from Torreira, the midfield was absolutely woeful.
Yeah.
We did nothing. There was nothing constructive. There was nothing creative with the midfield whatsoever.
Thank you.
Absolutely nothing creative with the midfield.
On the midfield, man.
Yes, we need to do that. And I really do believe sooner or later, if we do not invest in a centre back, I mean, I wouldn't get into Suarez. Suarez came in late, so it's very difficult in his first game to kind of assess and see what he could have done and what the impact would have been. Iwobi is not a natural winger, Chris. He's absolutely not a natural winger. And I think because of that, sometimes we see the hesitation and the kind of 1, 2, 3 touches rather than being clinical. And had we been that, you know, I am having great difficulty in articulating what took place this afternoon. Now, having said that, Man City was not great. Man City was not great. I wouldn't comment on whether or not, I mean, you know, the second goal by Aguero was a handball. It was a handball. Unfortunately, these things happen. It shouldn't happen. And then to couple it with that, the player falling on the goalkeeper, which created a further problem in terms of him saving it. What can we say? Now, you know.
When we look at the first half, though, Arsenal were in for the fight in that first half. Second half, however, we were never really in the game.
In the first half, I thought we were there. You know, we were trying, but it was always an effort without any result. And that is it. I mean, you just have to look at it. Let's not talk about the second half. When you compare how many shots in goal, 0. Compared to what, about, you know, 14, 15, you know, from Man City. But for me, the issue is not shots on goal, because shots on goal may be one thing, but are they effective? Are you getting a result at the end of it? One shot on goal can bring a result of a goal. So I don't equate the game in terms of, hey, you have 14 shots, you have 15 shots, as opposed to me having one shot. One shot, goal, and therein lies the victory and the game itself. So, but I do believe, Chris, I'm struggling. I'm really struggling to, like I said to you, Emilio, to articulate, to somehow analyze, dissect, and understand what took place, whether there need to be some reconstruction, and it may well be.
How would you rate the manager's performance? Because I personally believe that he should have made some substitutions or some tactical change within the second half a lot earlier, before he brought on Ramsey and the new loan signing Suarez.
I do believe around the 60th minute. I agree with you. I'm not going to argue with that point. And I do believe at the 60th minute we should have made changes. Should have brought in Ramsey. Well, Ramsey or otherwise, whoever it is. I mean, you know, where do we go? Where do we go with that? Do we blame the defense? Yes, the manager need to do something. Now, am I going to blame the manager and say he's been, a bit Wenger-like in his decision making and his substitutions? At the moment, no, because I think it's too easy to fall into the kind of trap of saying, let us criticize the manager. The manager has done wrong. But I want to say the players on the pitch who make those fundamental mistakes, why we lost the game tonight.
Okay.
Seriously, Chris. Our goalkeeper was absolutely stupendous.
Yeah.
Make no mistake about it. Had it not been for the goalkeeper, we could have lost 3 or 4. But his ability, his performance in front of goal was such that I think it's unquestionable.
Yeah.
If I were chosen man of the match, I would have given it to our goalkeeper.
Okay.
And, what do we do? Where do we go from here?
Well-
that is the question that one must ask.
Yeah, well, Arsenal are now 6
Well,
in the table.
yes.
Can you honestly say you can see Arsenal getting that 4th place for the Champions League?
I'll be honest, and I think one of the things as the discussion earlier on you and I had, and you mentioned the fact that football fans tend to be rather febrile, and I do agree with that. We can be febrile, but I think in a dose of reality, I think if we finish 5th, then we would have done well this season.
Yeah.
But having said that, I would still see it as an achievement, given, as I said quite early on when we first started doing this, that what it is, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress. Come the end of this season, we need to move out some deadwood. Get rid of people like Steiner. Get people,
Who else is in that deadwood category that you need to get out, that you need to burn off? Who's the deadwood?
I would say we definitely need, Xhaka. I'm not a fan of Xhaka. I would move him out. I'd move Liechtenstein out. I would keep Koscielny because of experience and his ability. Once he's fit, then he has the ability and the intellectual capacity, if you like, to control the defense. But I do believe, bring on the youngsters.
Yeah.
I think we need to engender a whole different philosophy rather than constantly look at the continent. Let us use those youngsters that we're loaning out to places like, Hamburg, Dortmund and places like that. I really do believe that we need to do that, Chris. We need to shift.
Yeah.
We need to shift.
Are you surprised that someone like Smith Rowe, who at the beginning of the season was
yes.
doing very well, although in
Yes.
the Europa League and the cup games,
Yes.
domestic cup games, are you surprised we've loaned him out when he is an actual winger,
Very much so. Very much so. But
and we
I
don't
think,
have a winger at the club right now?
Very much so. And I think it's the overall philosophy, not only with Arsenal, but with the Premiership in general, that they do not in any way, there's no creativity. Whilst they have to bring in the youngsters because of the rules of the game, they're not developing those very same youngsters within the club's structures alike. And we see them go to the clubs like Hamburg, Borussia Dortmund, and we can see the performance. We can see what they're producing. So I do believe it is a question now of bringing the youngsters and giving them an opportunity. We saw that in the Europa game, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah.
We saw it, and we saw those very same youngsters stood up to the challenge and delivered.
Yeah.
So let us try them.
Okay,
Let us try them.
so for this season, honestly, what would you realistically be happy with? If Arsenal finished 6th, 5th, maybe 7th?
As an Arsenal fan, avid Arsenal fan, I would like us to finish 4th.